Hello Erit2. I'm here today to show you how to conserve water in your house, especially running water like faucet water. As I mentioned in my paper, this is up to 18% of your everyday water usage in the United States. The one that your house usually the aerator that your house usually come in is 2.2 gallon per minute, which flows a lot more than the kit that I bought right here, which is only 1.5 gallon per minute. That's almost 45%. That's almost 45% difference in gallon per minute. Of course, the less is gonna be more conserving. So let me show you how it works. Basically what it is this little thing. You screw this right onto where your faucet's coming down, and you have your water conserving aerator. What it does is it limits the flow of water into the sink. So when you turn it on like so, the water will be a lot lighter and there's less water coming out of your faucet. How it works is that there's a gap right in the middle. See the green mesh? And here. And also there's another air gap right here. What that does is it fills the water with air rather than all H2O. So there are actually more air in the water. I've actually replaced this one already. So today I'm going to show you guys how to replace your own in my other rooms. You can get one of these kits at any Home Depot. Look for the little sign, WaterSense EPA criteria, meets EPA criteria. As you can see, this is the old one. In comparison, it's a lot smaller than the new one, the aerator. This one doesn't have any air gaps, so all the water is just going straight through there. While this one, the water will have to pass through the air for it to come out of the faucet. Oh, and if you're a customer at Cal Water, you can also go on their website and request a kit, and they'll mail that to you. And their kit's actually only 1 gallon per minute rather than 1.5 gallon per minute, which is gonna save a lot more than the one that I bought. Right? This is the other room. It has 2 sinks. I'm gonna replace one of them first, and we can compare the water flow from the one that I'll replace to the one that's gonna be normal. First off, you're going to have to locate your old aerator. Get one of these wrench, or any kind of wrench that can go around it, and simply twist them off. This one's easy, so I can just do it by hand. This comes off. You can see this is the old aerator, and this is the new aerator. Big difference. This is 2.2 gallon per minute. This is only 1.5. Get some of your Teflon tape. This is essential for any lumbering work you do. Fills in thread. It prevents saw how this one came off easily because it didn't have any tape on it. So if this one had that, it will stay on there forever. And if the water touches this, it will touch the tape rather than the material, the metal material right here. It will touch the tape instead of the metal material. And that will prevent erosion or yeah. And you just get your tape, wrap around the thread. Go the same way that you're going to be screwing this in as. I like to do it 2 times, 3 times. Depending on the size. This one I'll go around twice. like so. Rip that off. Then you screw this back on there. Let's see. Take that out. Just push that up a little. I don't want that showing. It doesn't look too good, cosmetic wise. And get your wrench and just tighten it as much as you can. When you feel that it's tight, you can really stop and you're in a better position. Like so. And then I'm gonna try turning on the water. And you feel it right here. It feels a lot lighter compared to this one over here. This one feels heavier. And the water's coming down. I shouldn't be doing that. That's wasting water. Right, the next thing I'm gonna show you guys is how I conserve water in my house through my fish tanks. That's a small little one. Alright, now that we have the new aerator, I have it on 2 sinks right now. I still need to get 2 more to fill up the rest. Running water is important to have an aerator because when you're brushing your teeth, washing your hands, well, of course you shouldn't be like leaving your water on when you're brushing your teeth, but when you brush your teeth, wash your hands, anything like that, you're using less water as you're doing so. Sink wise, I don't like to have one because I fill up pots, you know, with water to boil or cook, you know, vegetables and all that, and potatoes. It will take forever. Like sink water is usually 3.0 GPM, and if you reduce it by 1.0 to 1.5 GPM, that's gonna take twice as long to fill up a pot with water. So I don't like to have that. I just practice good dishwashing etiquette, such as don't leave the water running when you're not using it, when you're not rinsing. Just turn it on when you're rinsing, turn it right back off. Same with the shower. When you're showering, turn off, you know, the water you're scrubbing, because you don't want to be wasting water when you're scrubbing, because you don't need to wash off that soap until you have the soap on you. You know, it's just common sense. And yeah, we're gonna go right into the fish tank now, because a lot of people like to keep aquariums and they don't know where to dispose of their water or make good use of it, because you can always reuse that water as a fertilizer for your plants and garden, you know, anything that you have. Alright, we are now outside, and I've extracted the water from my fish tank out to this little small one, and all that material down at the bottom, that's just from me cleaning the filters and makes the water really dirty. I've put a gallon of that in this little water sprayer that we'll be using to fertilize all my plants, instead of using synthetic fertilizer that you buy at the store, like Roundup, whatever, Monsanto. And have this test strip. Just dip it in here, swirl it around a few times, and just wait for that to dry. We'll compare the nitrate and nitrite in this water. We'll just let it dry right there. It takes a while for the color to change. Now we're just gonna use this guy. This guy
to fertilize my tomato plants. I have to press that. Let's do that. And I will be going around doing this to every single one of my plants. A lot of sustainable farmers say that having soil that's nutrient rich is very essential, and soil that can hold all that nutrients in there is even more essential. So we won't really be using all that, because if we use all that, it's gonna come down, then run off into our drain right down there, so you can see, and that goes to our creek. And since this is dirty fish water, you don't want that going to a creek, because, you know, fishes and other aquatic life in creeks are not going to like that kind of water. Same with the water that that's ran off from rain and stuff that's washed down. Say this gutter comes down, it's washing sediment down there in that drain, and that drain takes it all the way, that sewer takes it all the way back to the creek, and now that sediment is in the creek, which is polluting our creeks. And another thing that can pollute our creeks are motor oil that you can find on the roads right over there. You know, like DMV tell you not to drive so fast in first rain, because all that oil is getting washed up, and the road's more slippery. Well, yeah, that's true, and all that water is actually going down to our creek and affecting a lot of the aquatic life down there. Another thing that will go down our creek is car wash water. When you're washing your car, you're washing off all that dirty debris off your car, and you also have soap, which is gonna go down that drain, and all that dirty water will eventually be in our creek. Then our creek leads to our bay, which is even a bigger ecosystem for wildlife. We're not only talking about aquatic life anymore, but we're talking about birds, migratory birds. Those birds eat the fish, and you know, if the fish is messed up on the inside, the bird's gonna get messed up too. So yeah, when you're washing your car, it's just avoid washing it on your driveway. I'm actually lucky, because all the water that comes off of my car when I wash it just gets soaked up into the sediment, because I don't have a drain around, or it doesn't like lead to a sewer anywhere, so I'm fine with that. If you have a lawn, definitely wash your car on the lawn, because all that water would just soak up in your lawn. It's not gonna go anywhere. And water also go to designated car washes, because their drain is different. It's like our bathroom drains. When you're taking a shower or washing your hands, doing the dishes, all that soap water actually goes to the water treatment plant. And what happens there is the water gets recycled into regular water that we can use to water our plants. Like this water right here is probably from one of those water. What else? Yeah, so just be careful what you do with your water. That would just end up in the creek, and the creek ends up in our bay. Affect a lot of aquatic life. So what happens to this water after I'm done with it is I will take it into my bathtub and just dump it down there, and that would just take all that water, this water, into the water treatment plants, which will get recycled. I've done water changes for 100-gallon tanks, 200-gallon tanks. I do the same process. I just try my best not to clog up their, bathtub, because you're dumping a huge amount of water in there. And whatever water I can save in one of these, I just put it in there and take it home and fertilize my plants. So yeah, this is the water that I took out. It's only 3 gallon or 4 gallon because I went a little late with my water change, but that's not significant. But if you're talking about a 100-gallon tank, you're taking out at least 40 gallon of water to every water change, which is a lot. I can only use 1 gallon to fertilize the plant. What happens to the 39 other gallons? It's just gonna go down that drain and get recycled for reuse. 200-gallon tank, that's even a lot more water. That's like almost, you have to do a 40% change on that. That's around 80 gallon of water that you're dumping down. It makes a big difference. It makes a big difference with the water, the amount of water that we're using. Each person's only using or 30 gallon of faucet water. That's only faucet water a day, per day. And now you have a fish and aquariums. It's just triples, quadruple that amount. And you really have to try to make a difference. And I try to make a difference. So let's take it to the creek, and we'll take it to the bay. Show you all that water, that creek water, and the bay water. All right. We are currently at McClellan Ranch Park, down on McClellan Road. This is about a 5-minute drive from De Anza. And as you can see here, this is our local creek in Cupertino. This is the Stevens Creek, while your water runoffs go to. And as you can see, there are a lot of aquatic life around here. All these plants growing. Now this is the water from the creek. Usually it's filled up to about to where these rocks are over here. Now only half the creek's here. Consider that a drought. See if we can find any aquatic life down here. Lift these rocks up. There are probably plenty down there. Little microbes. Oh, there's a snail right there. Small little snails you can see. Last time I was here, I spotted a crawdaddy or a crawdad. It's pretty cool. And all this water comes from the water runoffs in your house. So it matters what you put in the water that's running off. And all these rocks right here is the, as I mentioned, the sediments that gets washed down along with the water. And from here, this water will head to our bay, and the bay into the ocean. All right. We are currently at McClellan Ranch Park, down on McClellan Road. This is about a 5-minute drive from De Anza. And as you can see here, this is our local creek in Cupertino. This is the Stevens Creek, while your water runoffs go to. And as you can see, there are a lot of aquatic life around here. All these plants growing. Now this is the water from the creek. Usually it's filled up to about to where these rocks are over here. Now only half the creek's here. Consider that a drought. See if we can find any aquatic life down here. Lift these rocks up. There are probably plenty down there. Little microbes. Oh, there's a snail right there. Small little snails you can see. Last time I was here, I spotted a crawdaddy or a crawdad. It's pretty cool. And all this water comes from the water runoffs in your house. So it matters what you put in the water that's running off. And all these rocks right here is the, as I mentioned, the sediments that gets washed down along with the water. And from here, this water will head to our bay, and the bay into the ocean. All right, we are here at the bay. This is Don Edwards National Refuge.
Looks like shit.
Like just some diarrhea. Alright, so we are now here at Donnet International Wildlife Refuge at the bay. As you can see here, there's a lot of wastewater. Color difference. Right over here is the clean water. Alright, so this is where they remove the salinity. It's like a mini filter in this bay. Takes the water here, goes through there, and it comes up. Let me just walk up here. Comes down through here. That water is clear. Today the water is a little high, but later in the day, around 4 or 5 p.m., the water gets lower. So these birds fishes, wherever they can find water. It's a great big diversity of wildlife out there. So yeah, it's very important to take care of our water. It's gonna affect everything around us, not just humans. A bunch of birds just resting right there, getting some calcium, some vitamin D. More over here. And all these animals, they live off, the water right here. This is all from our runoffs.